Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I'm going to be doing a reading for Blu-rays. I'm just in a weird ass mood today. I'm going to be doing a reading for Blu-rays. I keep wanting to say Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I don't know what that means. Anyways, Blu-rays, message coming through. The weight's going to be lifted, but not before it crushes you. I'm not sure if that means like the parts of you that are resistant to your journey, or if it means just like unnecessary internal destruction type stuff. Okay. So let's see. Let's start pulling cards. Start pulling cards. I just fucking dropped everything. All right. All of these cards we'll keep. We'll keep all of those. Damn, that's a lot of cards. Oh, I don't want to leave that one up by itself. So let's see. So Blu-rays, lots of stuff going on, a lot of challenges, a lot of attempts to trigger you, a lot of attempts to derail your progress through unnecessary doubt, conflict, struggles, all of that good stuff. It's good stuff because it's the stuff that grows you, so long as you keep level-headed and not just be easily triggered. So here's the thing. The goal is not to be triggered, okay? The goal is to allow the triggering to take you to the root causations that are creating the effects in your life. If you allow yourself to experience the triggers, and once you're triggered, allow yourself to seek out where this trigger has been hidden within you, then you're totally going to find out, okay, what is this? How come it's always being used to get me off balance, to get me feeling, really badly? 10 of Autumn, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones. Making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. So there's a couple things here. I tell you from the start, it has nothing to do with money. That's because money. No, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with making wise investments. Are you wasting your time trying to correct other people's behaviors? Are you wasting your time trying to convince yourself to be something that you're not? If you're not a chill-ass person, you're not a chill-ass person. Okay, I can be really intense. I can be really obnoxious. Oftentimes I'm chill, but I'm not always just a chill-ass person. That's not who I am. So if I'm going to sit here and spend all my time, invest all my time into being, one of those very timid, very quiet, soft-spoken females, I'm just not. I'm not. Either I'm not going to speak or it's going to be like, plat-ow, it came out my mouth. I can't deliver information the way other people do, 99% at 9 o'clock. So, and that's the thing. If I want to spend my time trying to be like these other girls and ultra feminine and soft, and everyone's going to want to be my best friend, it's just not me. It's a waste of my time and my effort. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to cultivate a space within yourself to be like someone else? That's a waste of your time. Okay. If you think that your success, your stability is going to come from trying to be like someone else, trying to emulate another person, to me, that's like a total disregard of the gift that you actually are. Like trying to be, I want to be more like Emmie. No, you don't. She's a little bit crazy. She's a little bit crazy. She's a little too ballsy for someone with no balls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to work for you. Unless you're a little too ballsy and have no balls. Then it might work. But the honoring family traditions portion of this, that kind of leads me to feel like, what if the triggers and the expectations and the disappointment that comes from those failed expectations comes from your loyalty to family traditions? What if it's the very family tradition that's a toxicity? Because let's face it, pretty much all families are toxic. It's not that they're bad people. It's that we keep inheriting the toxicity from the generations past. And then we add to that before we gift it to the generations after. So, we come from cultures where it's very, very taboo to talk about things, things that happen in the family, like the history of the family. It's taboo, because we want to put up some sort of la-di-da image. I don't know. If you can't talk about the things that have wounded you to the point where you don't know who you are at this point, you might not want to be loyal to that. You might want to rethink that whole thing. Okay. And I'm not saying discard your family, because these are people that are supposed to be contributing to your journey in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't mean they have to stay in your life your whole life. That means don't be so quick to just assume, okay, she's trying to say I need to cut out my family. No, I think you need to begin, really, I hear restoration, finding the places within that dynamic that need some restoration. Okay. And then who you need to, kind of steer clear from, and who can, you can grow with. Your family better than anyone. So, Prince of Summer, romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious. Falling in love suddenly. Being swept off your feet. The need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. Okay, I think that's the message. Unless you're trying to say you've fallen in love with me. I'm kidding. Stop. Okay, so the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. I'm going to be really honest. This is just a very emotional time. Very, very, very emotional time for no real reason, to be honest. Just a lot of things kind of rising up to the surface. I don't know that all of us are being triggered. What is going on here? I don't know that all of us are being triggered and that's what's rising to the surface, like PTSD type things, or if it's just the way the energies have been kind of functioning lately. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't keep track of the Schumann resonance. I don't keep track of that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's been going bonkers. Let's look real quick. Schumann resonance. Okay. So, yeah, I want to know where it's at. Okay. Schumann resonance are extremely low frequency electromagnetic elf waves. I can't talk about that in this live stream. So there's a lot of, well, you know what? Fuck it. Demonetize all the videos I talk about shit anyway. So what's the difference? So there's a huge possibility that elf waves have been turned on. I'm not talking just about Schumann resonance. I'm talking about there's technology that exists that was labeled as ELF waves, ELF waves, that have the capability. It's part of the whole, it's going to sound conspiracy, but it's not. It's part of technology that was created to kind of subdue larger groups of people, say protesters, regions, whatever it is, but they can turn this on and it affects depending on the type of frequency that's run, because it's a band of frequency. It can affect your mood. It can increase your aggression. It can decrease your tolerance. What it's doing, it's triggering your parasympathetic system. In particular, certain frequencies can penetrate the brain and get to the amygdala, overstimulate the amygdala. That's a part of your brain that's responsible for the level and expression of your aggression. So that's probably what's going on. That's probably what's going on. That's probably why we're having so much of this emotional up and down, sometimes aggression towards other people, aggression towards ourselves. There's a lot of technology that exists at this point. Quite a few of it has been shared. HARP is an old thing, and then we have Do. There's just so much tech, and I would not be surprised if this tech was created, designed specifically to subdue, interfere, manipulate the awakening process of Blu-rays. Because really, of all the people who have incarnated and who are alive right now, I'd say the Blu-rays are the ones that would be willing to go balls to the fucking sweaty walls to get change done. Once you activate enough of your morphogenetic template, you will not stop. You will not cave. You will not back down. You will not shut up. You will not have a seat. You will not bow. You will not lick your oppressor's boots, and you don't give a shit who agrees with you, who doesn't. None of that fucking matters. Because now I recognize I'm a sovereign. I've been here before. I'm going to come back again, and all of this is bullshit, so let's just get the job done. They don't want that. It's not a conspiracy. It's a fact. It's just the truth. If you look at the structure of the food pyramid, the base of that pyramid was specifically designed. This was created after the phenomena of indigo children being born. And the government was highly researching this. So let's go ahead and present a food pyramid. In order to be healthy, you have all these grains at the bottom, right? What's one of the number one top manipulated GMOs? The staples, which is the grains. Manipulate the grains allegedly to make them less susceptible to insects. And then, hey, we'll make glyphosate. Humans don't have the Shikma pathway, so it's safe for human consumption. It'll just attack the bugs. It'll produce larger yields of harvest. And what ends up happening? This is specifically to target especially the Blu-rays, but also the indigos and everyone that comes after. So you get synergistic toxicity. If you look up the work by Dr. Stephanie Seneff, I've talked about this so much. She is not anti-vax. She's not any of that. She's a scientist she's a doctor scientist. She's a scientific doctor. And she's looking at all this information. And she's recognizing the potential reason why so many children are developing all of these conditions on the autism spectrum disorder. Yeah. This is because of synergistic toxicity. It's not the thimerosal. That adds to it, but it's not just that. Primarily the aluminum, which is an adjuvant. An adjuvant's a necessary part of the vaccination. You know why? Because you're not introducing it to a mucous membrane. When you don't introduce it to a mucous membrane, the body doesn't get that early detection, and it can't begin to process and build an immune response. You're doing an intramuscular injection. You're bypassing the body's systems, all its checks and measures that exist to help maintain homeostasis. All of these things that help you to stay very healthy and solid, it bypasses that. Half the time the body doesn't even know it's there because it's in the muscle. So how do you create a reaction? You add an adjuvant. It triggers an immune response. What's the adjuvant? Aluminum. How is synergistic toxicity explaining this to us? Well, because glyphosate is now permeating through the soils and a part of our food supply. We are ingesting large amounts of glyphosate. We are ingesting all sorts of heavy metals as well. The vaccination program injects it into the body as well. And you guys can read into this later on. I kind of, I'm here to do a reading. I'm not here to talk about glyphosate and synergistic toxicity. I just realized. I'm sorry. It was a tangent. Two of Winter. Indecisions is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional, as though those two things are independent of each other, separate from each other. There's a thing called emotional intelligence, where the two are kind of brought in together and function together to help elevate your understanding, overstanding, innerstanding of yourself and your soul, to help you really understand how you fit into this world. This concept of either developing the intellectual or developing the emotional, and there's no developing both at the same time, it kind of ties into allopathic medicine, modern medicine, where in order for you to have whole being wellness, you have to go see a specialist who focuses on one small part of that human machine and has no real idea about everything else. Well, everything works together. The emotion and the intelligence go hand in hand. It's when you sever one from the other that you begin to have a very unbalanced individual. It's when you begin to shame someone for having feelings, for feeling what they feel, and they're smart enough to understand they're feeling something for a reason, but now they have to shame themselves into silence. Blu-rays, you're not here to allow yourself to be shamed into silence and submission. You're here for the opposite, where when you've had enough, they just can't shut you up. And regardless of the consequence, you're going to speak that truth. And whether you speak that truth or not, it's really up to you. No one else is going to dictate that to you. So 5 of Summer. Trust that there's a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. So we just talked about emotional and intellectual intelligence, right? What does that mean? Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others. When someone else gets really upset, that you are giving yourself the freedom to explore how you feel. When they're upset, that you are allowing yourself to have boundaries and enforce it. Why are they mad, first off? Because they think they know more than you? They think they know what you need more than what you know yourself to need? That shit's toxic. It's one thing for us to be able to speak with each other, share our thoughts and our ideas, and for you to share with me like, hey, you might want to consider this, you might want to consider that. It's a whole nother thing for you to treat me as though you own me, I'm one of your subjects, and I must do as you say. That's toxic. That's beyond toxic. I know for a fact, because I struggled with this for a while, the need to control other people in that way, even if their intention is pure or good or loving, whatever you want to call it, it comes from a place of fear. Fear. It comes from a sense of internal weakness. They detect some sort of weakness within them that makes them afraid of experiencing life in its totality, allowing for the full motion and emotion, the very thing you came into this life to experience. And so now they have to control it. But I want to protect you from what? From learning my life? Are you kidding me? Do you want to protect me from the air? I'm just saying. Yeah. You want to protect me from what else? People can't protect you from your own journey. They just can't. They can't, regardless of their intent. No, but they have good intentions. Well, that's good for them, but no, I'm not going to listen. If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not doing it. And I'll try to graciously bow out. But so long as you keep trying to force it on me, try and force agreement, at some point, I'm going to snap back. It's true. At some point, I'm going to stop being like, oh, I don't know. And I'm just going to be like, look, bitch, I don't want to. And if you don't want to hear that, you have to stop pushing. Don't let people push you. If they're going to keep pushing, this is their way of encouraging you to find your voice and speak up for yourself. That's how I see it. Bottom line, when someone keeps pushing, At some point, me trying to be gracious and patient and appear compassionate and all that other wonderful jazz, it kind of goes to the wayside. I'm like, look, this motherfucker, you got to volunteer, girl. They volunteered to help you have this opportunity to choose yourself and speak up for yourself. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Let me tell you how it really is. So focus on that which frightens or worries you. So using this as an example, because I just saw this in the comments, this is the main reason why I haven't brought up my upcoming ayahuasca retreat to my family. So what is so frightening about sharing with your family what your plans are? Speaking in general terms, okay? I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're afraid to let our families know that we are growing into places where they might not be able to follow. They might not be able to understand or accept. There's maybe this fear that, what if they try and force me or guilt me to stay where they are, a place where I've outgrown already? And I'm not even going to judge anybody, because I had to disappear for like 3 years. No joke. Like, promise. However they do it. Promise. Yeah, no, I had to disappear for about 3 years with no forwarding address, no phone number, no nothing. And just like no social media, no nothing. Just, yeah, disappeared before I could be comfortable enough to allow complete strangers to be aware of what exactly I'm able to do. And even then, I still, like, if one of my siblings was in the room, or like my, one of my nieces or nephews, I'd be like, could you leave the room? This is weird. It's kind of weird to me. So, it might be something like that, where we have to give ourselves permission to be okay with growing beyond the places where there are our old friends and family can no longer follow us to. They have their own path. You guys don't have to be on the same path all the time. Allow yourself to grow. Seven of Spring, be assertive. Don't back down from what you believe. Courageously stand up for yourself. That includes standing up for yourself to yourself. Because, again, going back to the example of the ayahuasca, the mama aya, to the ayahuasca retreat comment, courageously stand up for yourself. If your family doesn't even know, how are you already afraid, of what they're going to say? That's because you're telling yourself a story. You're totally shrinking yourself to begin with before you even say anything. So stand up to yourself too, okay? You guys have heard me so many times. Bitch, stop it. I'm talking to myself. What the fuck you say? I said, bitch, stop it. Okay. I'm just saying. Sometimes you are your biggest enemy. You are your biggest detractor. You are your biggest bully. I know this for fact. Princess of Autumn. Studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. She looks salty. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly. Needing a little push to get going. I think the last line, needing a little push to get going, that's the heart of this card for this reading. So the title, the weight will be lifted, but not before it crushes you. Is it going to crush the totality of you? Is it going to destroy you and you'll no longer exist? You'll no longer have any chance of having a successful, happy life? No, it's actually crushing the parts of you that have been used to block all of that from entering your life. We create these blockages. We do. Oftentimes with the help of other people, of course, But when it's your own spouse, why are you married if you're going to keep secrets? That's the thing. That's the question you have to ask yourself. If that's a family you can't tell, why are you married? I'm not telling you to divorce, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, like, I don't know. I'm just old school like that. I'm old school like that. Like I can't be in the position of wife if I can't tell you, if I have to hide things from you. Like, I mean, I don't even know my passwords to shit. I gotta ask him. I don't know. I can never remember it. All my social media, to my phone, to all of my accounts. He has all the passwords. I don't know what they are. If you can't share such huge parts of your journey with the person who's supposed to walk side by side with you, there's something major going on. And I'm not saying there's infidelity. I'm saying like within you, there is something that's keeping you from allowing that connection to happen. And is it because you already know who they are and that it's never going to be okay? And if that's the case, um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not here to condemn your decisions or relationships or any of that. These are just questions we have to ask ourselves, you know? We have to understand where this comes from. And notice how I'm not saying it's him. I'm saying there's something within you that's causing you to feel certain ways, and that has to be examined so you can understand how to move forward from there. Um, and I totally know there's the kind of marriage I have with my husband. It's not common. Okay, it's a very special type of connection. It took a lot of fighting to get there. No joke, no joke. It took a lot of like, are you being shady? But that was my own thing. That's the thing. That's why we have such an amazing, amazing, long ass connection. I mean, it's over 20 years at this point. I don't know how many years. 22 years. Oh, no, no. Fuck, I don't remember what year we met. I don't keep track. We don't do anniversaries. What year did we meet? It was in the 90s. But anyways, we argued a lot. We still argue a lot. Oh my kidding. Yeah. That's just because I'm married to a Gemini and I'm a Pisces. Wrap your mind around that. We're opposites, but it works because we got to a point where I recognized the very things that were keeping me from allowing myself to really open myself to a connection with him. Like there was not the depth of trust on my end that I needed. And that's why I didn't want to like say things. And it's not that I was keeping secrets. It's that like, it was a lot of like nervousness. Like, oh my God, I don't know. Should I tell him that we have to go to my parents' house? Just weird shit like that. So, Boogie, you have to look within yourself, okay? As Blu-rays, we exist so deeply internal while also projecting so far externally. And we have to find the root causations internally that causes distortions what we project out into the world. And it's not that any of us are broken. It's not that the people who are with us are not worthy of us, or that's not what I'm saying. For some that might be what I'm saying. Okay, we're speaking general terms here, but we have to really, really begin stabilizing the internal so we can project stability externally. And not just this fake stability where like I look like I got my shit together. I'm driving the car that says I got my shit together. I have the purse. I got, no. That's not having your shit together. Like real stability, just solid. Like I'm cuckoo crazy and shit, but I'm solid in my cuckoo. Y'all can feel it, right? Like I'm all over the place, but I'm solid. Okay, so 8 of Autumn. Do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship, and long-term projects. Do more research before proceeding. Before you make a decision, a solid decision, you have to make sure you have all the facts, okay? Make sure you really have all the facts. Why do you want this? Why is there conflict? Why are you not speaking up? If you do decide to speak up, what needs to be said? What parts of you need to be experienced by other people? And just really researching yourself. I don't necessarily feel like you would get, excuse me. I don't necessarily feel like there's any specific program that you could do to really get you to a solid place within yourself. Because, I mean, even if I had a program and you took it, would it make you solid if you're not willing to really address what's going on internally? No, it wouldn't. It absolutely will not. It just won't. So long as we are in denial of what our history has done to us, what our history has taught us to be like, we can't fix it. I mean, look at narcissists. Can you heal a narcissist? Can you help them heal themselves? No, because there's nothing wrong with them. They feel like there's nothing wrong with them. It's everyone else. Like, it's your fucking fault that my fist hit your face. Like, you should be saying sorry to me. Like, the fact that you pissed me off so bad that I had to hit you in the face. That's some narcissistic shit. You're never going to fix that. Why? Is it because they're intrinsically broken? No. It's because the way in which they have been fractured causes them to feel it's everyone else but them. They are not the fractured person. So long as you're not willing to look inside yourself, you're not fixing anything. It doesn't matter who you go to. It doesn't matter what classes you take. It doesn't matter how much you pay, what certificates you have. None of that's going to matter. Like, I could do energy work on you, but so long as you keep the same mindset, the blockages will come back. Parasites will re-enter, and your money was just wasted. I'm going to be complete. I tell people this all the time. That's the truth of it. I can extract anything, but will it stay out? Not if you let it back in. With your mindset, with your current perceptions, that has to be shifted. So, we'll be solid in our cuckoo together. Then I'll be solid in my cuckoo. Really think about what causes you to feel afraid, because you might be surprised. He might be very supportive when you tell him. I was really scared to tell my husband that I needed to go to Peru because I've never left my family before. I've never done ayahuasca though. Yeah, I was really, really scared to the point where I was shaking. I was like, bitch, why are you scared? This man never says no to you. And it was just like, well, I don't know. It was my own internal fears because he literally never says no to me. So card number 8, justice. Take the time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. So again, another encouragement to kind of go slow. Be very, very present as you look through all these things that you're trying to find. Really go over it. Make sure the decisions you make are solid decisions for you. Sometimes the solid decisions for you are solid only for you. And if it's going to lead to your growth, you're going to have to be okay with that. You can't choose the path that's best for everyone all the time, because sometimes the path that's best for everyone but you is the path that's best for everyone but you. And yeah, you weren't here. You weren't born here to be a martyr. Okay? You weren't. You weren't. So card number 20, renewal. Review the past and present so you can plan a bright new future, understanding your life purpose, releasing judgments of yourself and others. I think it's more than releasing judgments of yourself and others. Judgment is necessary. Judgment is a form of discernment. Discernment is a form of judgment. It's a necessary thing to be able to determine for yourself what is necessary and what's unnecessary for your growth, for your happiness, all of that. It's the condemnation that's needing to be released. It's needing to be stopped. Stop condemning yourself or other people. Stop condemning other people for not understanding you. Stop condemning yourself for the things you don't understand about yourself. This whole thing is about growth. It's about learning. And if we're not going to grow or learn, why are we here? Well, you're going to live your life and find out, aren't you? No matter what, you're going to learn and grow. So, Queen of Summer, loving, comforting, emotional, and intuitive. Listen to your heart. Intuitive insights you can trust, taking care of others, perhaps too much. Read that. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. I know it's backwards, don't worry. You can pause it later and see what the words say. So, let's, I don't know. Am I going to kick myself in the ass for listening to you, Michael? He told me to get out this deck. I don't know. Oh, no. He tells you no, and you do your own thing anyway. That's what my husband says. That's why he doesn't say no to me anymore. Well, I don't think he ever has. He doesn't say no to me. The only way he says no to me is like, you do whatever you want anyway, so why are you asking me? Oh, that's right, I do. No, when he says that, I'm like, fine, then I won't. Yeah, he says that. That's his way of saying no. Okay. All right. Here goes. It's a lot of shit going on, guys. A lot of shit. Looking at these cards, a lot of shit. Things are about to change majorly. Majorly. So card number 25, release the dark wounds, let love live. Whatever dark wounds you have, these are very, very deep, deep, deep wounds. They have been festering within you since childhood. People can say whatever they want about how their life was perfect in childhood. Every family has some form of toxicity. Every single family has some form of toxicity. I bet you Jesus Christ's mother sometimes had some toxicity too. Literally every single family does. And just because, people weren't hit as a child, just because they weren't cussed out, just because they had a meal every time it was meal time and had new clothes, there's other forms of toxicity, you guys. There is. It's not always physical and emotional abuse. It's not always neglect. There are other forms of toxicity. And these toxic things that we're exposed to in childhood, these are the things that are forming who we are. They've been forming who we are since we were exposed to them. Some of these things have become so toxic within us that it's beginning to necrotize certain parts of your morphogenetic template. When cells are necrotized, they die. You can't revive that. When you get bit by some sort of critter with necrotic venom, you have to excise all the parts that are affected, all the parts of your arm that become necrotized. You have to cut it out, or it just rots and it spreads. So now we're looking at this thing of like, we have to begin really identifying where these parts of us are. Where within us are they? I wouldn't be surprised if where these things are stored, you have some sort of discomfort, possibly disease, things like that stem from it. A lot of females, when there are issues, especially between the daughter and the mother, because in some cultures, the females, the daughters of the family, regardless of their age, they're expected to really take on all the responsibilities within the house. And, it's a very patriarchal type system. And many will store this in their womb. Many will store it in their breasts. What types of cancers are most common? What types of cancers do we hear about the most? Breast cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer. These are very real things. When you store these types of elevated toxicity for your whole life, that can very much distort the transmission between your morphogenetic template and your genome, your genetic material, what your DNA is. Your DNA is a receptor. It receives information from your morphogenetic template. When that energy lays stagnant, that toxic energy is stagnant for prolonged periods, it distorts the expression of those codes. You get broken DNA. You get certain codes that affect things like apoptosis, which is a natural cycle of the cell life, natural life cycle of the cell. That's how you get growths. That's how you get cancers, tumors, all of those things. You have to be very aware of where you're storing all of your toxicity. If it's in your heart, you get really bad heart problems. If it's, something that really shook the structure of who you are, the structure of your beliefs, how you see yourself, that can manifest in problems with the bones, just all kinds of different things. You have to allow yourself to see life in a different way, to see your history in a different way. Card number 6, shock of the new. 6 being the number of receiving. You're about to receive something new. This is a communication from the heart. It's rising up to the high heart, up to the throat. Your tears are sacred. A new song will be played for you. A new song from your heart. You will find yourself in a field of sunflowers. Sunflowers face each other when the sun isn't out. These are people who can bring light to your life, just like you bring light to their life. And none of this is going to happen for you so long as you keep yourself confined in that box created by your fear response to all sorts of traumas from childhood. Positive disintegration. The work by Dr. Dabrowski on positive disintegration, overexcitabilities. You really, really need to make yourself familiar with that work, because that will help you to fully understand why we struggle the way we do in order to learn the things we need to learn. His work beautifully explains my concept of trauma-induced accretion. It's that very thing. The trauma is the very thing that triggers us to accrete frequency, extremely high frequency at extremely fast rates in order to raise us up. Trauma-induced accretion, or are you talking about here? I'll write it. Sorry. Dr. Dabrowski. Positive disintegration. Trauma-induced. I don't know. I don't know if you'll find anything on the interwebs regarding trauma-induced accretion, because that's my own that's my own theory. That's from an entire lifetime of human observation, not just of myself, but of other people. Trauma-induced accretion. Trauma is what causes the induction of frequency. It's just like the fight or flight response, but on an energetic level. When your parasympathetic system is triggered, adrenaline starts coursing through you. This elevates your ability to respond, either by fighting or by flying away. So when your etheric parasympathetic system is triggered, that adrenaline is extremely high frequency accretion. So Card number 15, big, bold vision. You need to see yourself in a different way. You have to, okay? You have to totally see your life differently in order for you to manifest a different life. Too many people become too comfortable just accepting things as they are. Yes, you can't just change things overnight. Yes, you have so many things stacked against you. Yes, you have an entire culture you were raised in to help perpetuate this belief that you can overcome whatever this circumstance is. But yes, you are a sovereign. By definition, the sovereign is the utmost authority. That means no one tells you what to do. No one dictates to you what's going to happen. You are the utmost authority. That means you are responsible for yourself. If you choose to allow yourself to hand off your power to someone else and they're going to now dictate to you, you've chosen that. You've given that the green light. And because you had the power to give that the green light, you have to understand the flip side of it. You also have the power to give that a red light and stomp that shit down. Okay? So, card number 26, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. This is the image of trauma-induced secretion, where you think life is beating you down, but it's not. What's happening as you sit there thinking you're just cowering, what's really happening is that you are accruing frequency. You're pulling in a charge. You're allowing that charge to just continue to accumulate. And what happens when the arrow is pulled back? That arrow is already loaded on a bow. The bow stores energy. As far back as you're pulled, that's how much forward trajectory you can achieve, so long as you let go. That's the thing. You want to hold on to control. You want to hold on to things. You want to hold on to that, hold on to the relationship, hold on to the friend, hold on to the job, hold on to the material things. So long as you hold on, that arrow is not going nowhere. And guess what? You're the arrow. You want to be launched forward? I mean, it's okay to be pulled back, because however far you're pulled back, it's amplified how far you launch forward. So all you got to do is let go. I mean, why are you so powerful? Because I finally let go. It's true. Finally let go. And I'm just like, bitches, I'm free. Yeah, no, seriously. One of the most powerful things I did for myself was just let go. People going to think whatever they're going to think anyways. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, no matter how far you go out of your way to accommodate ridiculous, over-the-top preferences, trying to anticipate their need before they even say it. Yeah, they're going to think whatever they want anyways. So let them. I ain't got time for that. So you're going to be going against the grain. You naked in your truth. You're going against the grain, thinking now I'm free. I'm entering a state of sovereignty. In order for you to really, really embrace that sovereignty, you have to be challenged. So as you swim, know that you're swimming towards the water pigeons. What the fuck are they called? Seagulls. You're swimming towards the seagulls. And just like that cartoon, Finding Nemo, excuse me, animation, my kids reamed me on this not long ago. Finding Nemo is not a cartoon. It's an animation, Mom. There's a difference. Okay, animation. Remember the seagulls in Finding Nemo? Mine, 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 mine. Now, they are going to try and take ownership of you again. Hey, they can do whatever they want. They're still a water pigeon. They're still a water pigeon. Okay? So as you change, as you become more of who you are, The people who benefited from who you've been this whole time, they're not going to be too happy about that. Most people will be like, "Ooh, you've changed. What's going on with you? You think you're better now. Like, you're being weird." No, I'm growing. And the people who truly love you, the people who are healthy for you, they might be weirded out at first, but give them time. Continue to allow them to see the truth of who you really are. And if you're worth it to them, they'll still be around. Well, but what if they don't think I'm worth it? Well, then fuck them. There's billions of people on this world. Billions. I promise you, you'll find at least one other person who will like you. At least one other person. I'm not going to encourage you to go out of your way for the one person who doesn't value you, who refuses to take just a moment to try and figure out what's going on here. You okay? What's happening? Fuck them. She don't need help. That's one more person you're going to have to bend over backwards for just to keep around. I'm sorry, but I've finally gotten to a point in my spiritual journey and my understanding of myself that if I have to go out of my way to prove to you that it's worth your while to stick around, bye-bye. Go. Find someone else. Shit. Hey. To the left, to the left. Everything I own in a box on the left. In the closet. That's my stuff. Please don't touch it. Yes, I bought it. Please don't touch. Keep talking that mess. That's fine. Can you walk and talk at the same time? I'm just saying. You're going to talk your shit. Walk while you talk your shit. On the other way. And don't touch none of my shit. Okay. So card number 36, listening for truth. Whew. You just heard a whole earful of it. It wasn't even a little tiny shell. She got a big ass conch. You got a conch of truth. You got a truth conch. That's what this video is, a truth conch. It's okay for you to be in a sense of like, I'm in a dark spot. It's in the dark spot that you finally understand the gravity of how beautifully bright you actually are. You don't want to be light blind because then you don't understand. You don't see the nuances within your light. You don't understand the gravity of who you are. I mean, I'm just saying. I still don't understand the gravity of who I am. And maybe I never will in this life. But I'm still going to go ahead and keep being fully present. I mean, I can't send myself to the left. I'm just saying. What card? I already finished reading, though. I thought I was done. It is 52 minutes, bruh. So you said 30 minutes. You said this was a 30-minute read. That's why I allowed all those cards for all those different decks. Keep talking that mess. That's fine. Can you walk and talk at the same time? I'm singing to Michael. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, whatever. I'm wishing on a star. Find out where you are. Okay. One more. That's it. I don't know. I think you need to figure out a way to get me some like health insurance, Michael, because I'd be rolling my eyes at you so much. I think I strained my optical shit. I think I strained my eyes from rolling it at him. So, wishing. Yeah. What are you wishing for? What is that? Like, is that two people or is that you by yourself? Is that two people or you by yourself? Are you wishing for another person or are you wishing you knew who you were, who you are? Are you wishing for all sorts of things, you know? Right, Boogie. Is this a Pisces reading? What's going on? There's a lot of wishes that are going totally like down to the bottom of the well. They're not rebounding back up because I don't know. I think you have to recognize you have this bucket that you can drop down into the well, you know? And then all the fucks that you need can go in that bucket. And then you got to pull it back up. And then you'll have a bucket of fucks to give to yourself, to other people. You can't live your whole life not giving a fuck about yourself. I'm just saying. But I love him or her. Well, I think this is a good lesson for you to save some of that love for yourself, you know? Get that bucket. Let it go to the very bottom of the well. Give it a few seconds for all the fucks to jump back in the bucket. Know what I'm saying? You can't just pull it up right away because then the fucks didn't have time to go in the bucket. That's why you only got half a bucket of fucks. Okay. Because it's complicated. It is complicated. It's complicated. But here's the thing, it's not. It's not. It is, but it's not. It is according to how you see it. But when you remove all your frustration and all your attempt to control, you then begin to understand it was really not that complicated. It's not. Promise, it's not. I was going to wink at you, girl. I was going to wink at you, and Michael said, no, don't wink. Okay. Card number 1. The fledgling. Is her chest on fire? Do y'all see the big ass chicken wearing a suit? With a lion standing behind it. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, the fledgling. So we don't really have any idea what's going on. We have really no idea what we need to do, why we're here, how to do what we need to do, when we need to do it. But here's the thing. You don't know that, and no one else does either. No one else knows what to do. So all of us are fledglings here. Can we just recognize that? All of us are fledglings on this earth, and we need to stop elevating other people above ourselves. Michael says I have to kind of clarify. I went from super serious. I was super obnoxious and joking around to serious just suddenly. It's ADHD. It took us somewhere. It took us to the serious part. Like, seriously, don't elevate anyone above yourself. Not even me. Like, yeah, are you kidding me? Don't be putting me on pedestal. I don't balance very well. I'll fall off that shit. No joke. No joke. I'm the only person that I know that can trip myself without moving my feet. No joke. I'm not even joking. I can trip myself standing up. Do not put anyone on any pedestal. Yes, you can have an appreciation for the ways in which they trigger you to empower yourself. But that's all they're doing. Boop, boop. I hurt my trigger finger. Boop, boop. That's all I do. I just trigger you guys. I trigger you, trigger you. Trigger you. I trigger you to empower yourself. Don't be giving me the credit for work you're doing. Are you kidding me? All I do is trigger you to empower yourself. And that's all you should see me as, a trigger-ass mofo. A trigger. All those triggers create movement. It creates movement within yourself, within your mind, within your heart, within your journey. Allow yourself to be a majestic as fuck pony and just prance around your world. All seriousness. Just be a majestic AF pony and just prance around your life. And the people who don't like you being happy, the people who get so irritated that you're like in a good place, put on some fuzzy as fuck leg warmers and prance like that. That's right, bitches. You couldn't stop me from prancing without my fuzzy ass leg warmers. You ain't gonna stop me now. And I guarantee they're just gonna get so much more irritated that you're extra happy. And pigtails. Pigtails wrapped up like Chun-Li because we sassy too. Okay, choices. You got to make choices. Make that choice. You're either going to choose to focus on the left wing or the right wing. That's up to you. Just remember, you need both wings to fly. Bada boom. Okay, I got to go. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, let's trot like the majestic SF horses we got. Girl, I wish I was a horse. I got thighs like a horse. I got thighs like an ostrich. And I have an ass like a newborn. Yeah. I'm gonna have to just love my ass as flapjacky as it is. So no more of that. I ain't doing no squats. I ain't doing no nothing. Fuck that shit. No, I do need to get back to the gym because my joints are destabilized. Okay, so you guys, there's your Blu-ray reading. If things need to be crushed before the weight is lifted, make sure you don't put your most valuable assets on that crushing block. Your most valuable assets are your sense of you. And if that's a part of you that gets crushed, just know it wasn't the real you. It's like you're a little chickie coming out of an egg. And, you know what you could be? You could be like the baby velociraptors that were born at Jurassic Park. No joke. That could be you. That could be you. Be a majestic AF velociraptor baby. So please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys. Bye.